Seriously, I was on the Toiletium, and honestly, I'm getting more and more confident about this idea of invading America. Which is super stupid and all. I mean, I would probably need to build a navy. Yeah, because he actually has a navy, and I don't. Do you have any army? I mean, yes, you have an army, but... Yeah, his tech is shite, but so is mine, so... Let's see here. Oh, of course, I need to be a bit careful, because last time I went on some massive warmongering adventure while having liberal revolutions tear apart my country. It didn't really work out, did it? Chicago is in Vinland? I in Vinland? You're in Vinland? But I can't invade Chicago. Like, that's landlocked. Like, I'm pretty sure the game literally does not allow you to take lands you do not border. So... Also, it's not Chicago, by the way. It's Sholby. Wait, that's not where Chicago is. Is this where I don't know. It's doesn't matter. It's still gloriously Scandinavian / Norwegian in name. Sholby means shield city, by the way. I absolutely love Vinland in this. The names are just hilarious. Åsmarka. Ås is like, I don't know, hard to translate. Ramsøya, øy means island, so I don't know why the thing is... I think named an island is in the middle of a... Okay, well, there's nothing too hard about that. Nordby means northern city. Västersund, like western Sund. I don't know how to translate that. New Aarhus, New Aarhus, yeah. New Aarhus. Aarhus is just a place name. Båtham, yeah, that's fucking Swedish. Oof. That's bloody brilliant. Table is where it is. Ah. Yeah, so Tobel. Yeah, I don't know what that means. No, not even sure if it does mean anything. And presumably it does mean anything. Honestly, the guys who made this mod are... They seem to pay more attention to, like, the history of everything rather than the actual functionality of everything. I shouldn't shit on them. I mean, I am going to, but, you know, I shouldn't. Seriously though, I think we're going to invade America. This is going to be totally awesome and totally function, and yeah, nothing can go wrong here. Plantagenean. Honestly, I wish there was a decision to get them as accepted, because I feel like I deserve that. Wait, 535 days? Really? Why? I don't have that much. No, I literally have no war exhaustion. Ah, because I'm liberal. Alright, let's wait until September then. America. Green, you not know where Chicago is? I mean, I was close. I assumed here, but in hindsight, yeah, it makes more sense that it's over here. Yeah, in hindsight, I am a moron for not knowing. But to be fuck off. It's not like you know where my country's shit is. And again, you're not American, are you? So I guess I don't have an excuse there. How can a Norwegian not know where Chicago is? Yeah. See? Thank you for having my back, dude. See, Slovakia is nice. If it weren't for the fact that you're so nice as well, John, then I would totally be angry at you. Curse you for being so nice and ruining my argument. Oh god. 20% of the entire population of Palestine vanishes? I'm sure I could make a really funny joke about Israel here, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to get banned from Twitch. Alright, traditionalists. There we go. Excellent. Yeah, you didn't like that, did you? Libtards. Fucking hell. Moran Gotangoxt, welcome to the stream. Russia is the best comrade. Ah, okay, comrade indeed. I didn't need to re-enable K-Comrade. Okay, I encountered some problems with Java, mainly that Burgundy attacks me all the time. They do? I guess you're unlucky then, because in my game they didn't attack, or they didn't do anything at all. Like, whatsoever. The fucking bastards in Aragon, though, are trying to spare... Yeah, I'm not gonna get these guys, am I? Thanks much for the follow, though. Il Marcian Marxist something. Sorry. Pop-up went away. Where Russia get all supplies for World War II from? From Russia? Well, the vast majority from Russia. How do you install mods in Victoria 2? Okay, Soraka, or someone in chat, please link him the video. I'm pretty sure there's a pretty recent video that does a good job of explaining it, but if I'm going to explain it as quickly as I can, then you download the mod, which is usually in a zip file. Then you... I don't know what video. I don't know. The video that people post when people ask about how to do mods. I mean, obviously I've never actually watched the video myself, because, you know, I know how to install mods. Seriously though, also, I should probably start that justification, shouldn't I? Yes, now I can... Yeah. Okay, good. You download the mod, and then you... and it's usually in a zip file, so you need a unzipper program, either 7-zip or WinRAR. And then you unzip it, and then you take the mod folder and the mod file, put it into the mod folder in Steam Maps, and voila. Honestly, just Google how to do it. Like, it's there's a billion tutorials on the YouTube that are, you know, just a tad bit better at explaining than I am. And where can I find them? Mods? Once again, Google. What mod do you want? This mod is called Divergence of Darkness, although I wouldn't necessarily... okay, I do agree that, yeah, basically, I would like Google HPM. So Victoria to HPM. That's a good mod. You can start with that. It's like a mod that just like fixes a bunch of crap in the game. There is no specific place to find a mod. I guess you can try and hang out at the Victoria to Reddit. But yeah, there is no specific place. Like, this game does not have Steam Workshop, so you just have to like ask. Like, what do you want, Ilmar? Do you want a mod that just fixes the game and it's basically like Vanilla Plus? Get yourself some HPM. Do you want a mod like unless you want to play France, then you should get HFM. If you want alternate history, get Divergence of Darkness, which is this mod. If you want a modern day mod, then you should ask someone else, because I've never played those. I don't really know how those work. Let's re-enable slavery again. Haha, that's not funny. Only a bit. Ah, fuck off. I got detected, really? Oh well, I've paid the price now, so I guess we really are invading the Americans, aren't we? Fucking hell. How did it come to this? I mean, I know how it came to this, because, you know, I'm literally the one who started the whole project of invading America, but, you know. I need to actually no, I actually have legal slavery myself, don't I? So I guess I'm not really liberating anyone, am I? But I am actually no, they're a monarchy as well, so yeah, I don't really have a good justification for this war, which makes sense actually, because I got a lot of infamy for it, so the roleplay side of things adds up. How about for World War I, did the USA save Britain's and France's ass? Yes, they did. I would argue that they did, yes. I'm still not super sure if Germany could have truly won World War I on the Western Front, but they definitely wouldn't have lost. I think without the United States, honestly, the Germans probably could have won. The French were honestly struggling a lot. Yeah, the Americans definitely saved the Allies' bacon in the First World War. The second one... In the Second World War, the Americans beat Japan. The Allies could not have done that without them. So, you know, even if the Allies... Yeah, I mean, the Allies would have won in Europe, you know, because Soviet Union is thick. So Germany would have died either way. But without the Americans, Japan probably would have gotten a lot more than they did. And they would still be pretty autocratic, so... Basically, I am not saying underestimate the Americans. I'm saying that, you know... Do not underestimate the Soviet Union in World War II. Because that's what Hitler did, and that didn't really work out now, did it? So... Actually, if you're Hitler, do underestimate the Soviet Union, because that way he loses, and, you know, Nazism doesn't become a thing. Italy and Africa Green, France D-Day. USA made the war a lot faster. Yes, they did. And, I mean, what I think is important about the United States in the Second World War is not the fact that the United States helped beat Germany. It's the fact that they were able to invade France, or, you know, they were able to liberate France and the majority of Germany before the Soviets, quote-unquote, liberated them. Because if the Soviet Union would, you know, if the Soviet Union were just allowed to overrun all of Scandinavia and France, like, the Cold War would have been very different. So, thank you, United States. But do not come and tell me that, you know, the United States won the war. As with the whole Scottish thing we discussed earlier, like, I am very specific about these things. And I don't feel bad about it. Is that? Yeah, that's Aragon. Yes. Oh, never mind. We're not friends with them, are we anymore? Hey, Burgundy, are we friends now? I kind of... Aw, come on. Oh, piss. Yeah, okay. Maybe I actually just prepare a proper invasion then. I honestly should get some, like, naval tech at this point. Exactly. That's not what you were saying there, Brosmeister. Like, the question was never, did the United States help the Allies win the war? If the question is, did the United States help the world become a better place, then yes. A lot of people shit on the United States, but I honestly think that the United States has done more good than bad. Which, as a filthy social democrat European, is quite hard for me to say, but honesty sometimes is a thing you have to do. Why Rainbow Gran Colombia? Because they, the Spanish, you know, re-established the old vice royalties. It's kind of like how HFM works. How desperate are we that we re-establish French America? Not desperate. It's just like I ask you guys, what else should I do? I honestly can't think of anything. Like, if I invade Java and get these two provinces, like, whoop-de-fucking-do. Like, I know I was coming over Sulfur earlier, but, you know, that was just for effect. I don't actually care that much about that. I would like to get some Malacca, but they're spared by the Scandinavians, and Bengal, I can't even invade Bengal. Could do Travancore, but actually no. They're friends with Japan, so that doesn't work. I'm trying to get in there, but I don't have a lot of technology to do that, do I? So, and I don't want to spend infamy right now in Africa, because, like, I'll get that for free later, right? I guess I could invade. Nah, far too many states. Not worth to invade those boys. Maybe I should have invaded or Vietnam. No, they're definitely in the sphere of Japan at this point. Yeah, nope, called it. Yes, I don't know, man. Like, I want to invade Egypt, but like, when I get more technology, invading Egypt will be like way cheaper. So like, why waste infamy on it now when I can get it for cheap later, right? Manchuria looks juicy. I mean, speaking of things that are in the... oh, they're not... Oh yeah, but no, you can't take Chinese states, right? Because this is HPM, so... Or it's a mod based on HPM, so you can't... You can't take Chinese states unless you yourself is Chinese, so... Shanghai? Oh, really? The dual monarchy didn't actually get that. That's pretty funny. But no, I don't think you can do that. Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like, I've already taken the infamy hit for taking an invasion of Plantagenia, so... Like, the operation to invade those guys is already a go. I can't really undo that at this point. Also, I really need way more many transports. Yeah, grammar. Let's see. Give me some African sheeps. Take some of China then, Green. As I said, you can't do that. I never said that way, don't intend, but you... Yeah. Yeah, sorry, Brosmeister. I'm being a cunt again. Also, you're a social monarchist? Yeah, I guess I am. Well, unless the monarch is a cunt. And again, I hope that in a proper constitutional monarchy, if the monarch is a cunt, then, you know, he's just overthrown and replaced with, like, a nicer one. As I've said with monarchy, a monarchy, like a constitutional monarch, is not like a constitutional monarch is not democratically elected, but he is democratically allowed to stick around, you know? If a constitutional monarch gets, like, if he starts doing dumb stuff, then, you know. Like, as a guy who lives in a constitutional monarchy, trust me, if our monarch started doing dumb stuff, then he would be gone very quickly. Ooh, we can abolish gerrymandering. I am a big fan of... Or, I mean, we can allow gerrymandering, and that I love. Egypt? Oh, no. Wait, since when do you have... Dude? Ah, okay, so he's invading Iraq, not Egypt. Okay, good. Yeah, please don't get any funny ideas, Turkey, to invade Egypt. That would not make me happy, so don't do that. As an American, I believe in a republic. Also, monarchs are nice tourist attractions. Yes. I mean, for a tiny nation like Norway, that's important. Like, unironically. And monarchies, like, if I actually have to argue for the value of monarchy, like, it's having, like, a neutral, like, an unpolitical head of state. So that whenever some, like, soldier of Norway is dragged into some war in Afghanistan because of the United States, like, I don't, like, you know, that's, like, I get how that's sort of, quote-unquote, fair, because, like, you know, our military budget is a joke because, like, America protects us, and so we don't really have to have a military budget. So I'm not really complaining about the whole being basically like a military puppet of America, because we can spend more money on, like, free college instead of having to pay for the military. But we do have some military, and whenever that military is sent into Afghanistan because of the shenanigans of America, whenever some Norwegian soldier does something amazing and, like, I don't know, gets his feet blown off or whatever and becomes like Lieutenant Dan, when he then comes home and gets like a Medal of Omega Honor, or whatever it's called in Norwegian, in Norway, he can be given that medal by the king instead of like the president. Like, imagine fucking like losing your legs in Afghanistan, coming home to be given the Medal of Honor, and then fucking Trump shows up and gives you the Medal of Honor. What a joke. Instead of the glorious monarch of Norway, Harald V. Fy faen for en god lad. Damn. America is a federal republic, so it isn't really representative of the people. Yeah, I know that you guys don't have a representative democracy, which is a bit silly, to be honest. But I'm pretty sure you agree with the fact that you're not representative is a bit silly. So we actually have a lot of the same things, though. I think like a person who lives in Finnmark up here is his vote is like 4 times as important as a guy who lives in the capital. So we have a lot of the same bullshit because, you know, basically peasants are a very important electoral constituency. And so they, basically in most countries with a bunch of peasants, honestly, not even the countries with a bunch of peasants, but just countries with peasants in general, they use their power as an interest group to like enforce shenanigans democracy bullshit or anti-democracy crap. So I feel your pain, America. That's why Mormons hold power. Well, it's why filthy democracy believers hate the electoral college. Yeah. I've watched the same CGP Grey videos as you have, so I know what you're talking about. I know. Okay, so here come the whole springtime of nations meme. But this time, I am prepared. Damn it, I'm not prepared. Okay, well, let's try and at least make the right-wing people happy by abolishing rights. Fuck. Damn it, because I've been... By instinct, I've been clicking the decisions that put reactionaries into power in the upper house without even thinking about the consequences. Damn it. How could I have been so stupid? Actually, I totally know why I was so stupid. Henry, the Duke of... Yeah, I don't like that. Because that means that the dual monarchy is focusing on France, and as the rightful king of France, I don't like the idea of England I don't like the idea of the dual monarchy focusing on keeping the French people happy, because they need to be angry so that they will revolt and support me instead. Exercise that right and try and be a federal... what? And in Canada, a politician must speak French and English, so Quebec holds a lot of power over the rest of... Yeah, I mean, that's your fault, though, for demanding that the Quebecois should stay in the country. Like, honestly, just let them go and be their own thing. Forcing the French boys to be in the country, like, you know, that's, like, the only reason they bother sticking around is so that they can get, like, unfair democratic powers. Why else would they stay in Canada? I mean, obviously for logical reasons they would stay in Canada, but... I mean, the only reason that staying in Canada is logical for them is because, you know, they get unfair representation, so... I'm not Canadian? Sorry, John. That pronunciation of Quebecois? Quebecois? Oh, for fuck. I try. Once again, I am... It's... It could be worse, you know? Also, I'm sure the whole in Canada politicians must speak French and English, quote unquote. In Norway, a teacher must speak bokmål and nynorsk to become a teacher, but I'm basically 3 years away from becoming a teacher, and guess what? No one has even mentioned... There's not, like, nothing actually prevents me from becoming a teacher without speaking nynorsk. Or writing nynorsk, I should say. So... just because the law says a certain thing, well, that does not necessarily mean that that thing is a thing. You know? Speaking nynorsk, yeah, I know, Popox. Trust me, as I said, I speak Trøndersk because I'm a proud local boy. But I write bokmål. Well, I actually write Trøndersk to my friends, but only my close friends, because... People from the people from the south get all weirded out by that. What is nynorsk? Oh god. So, welcome to the history of Norway. So, we were a part of Denmark for a long time, and as a result, we spoke our own language, but we wrote in the Danish language. However, interestingly enough, the written form of Danish and Norwegian are really similar, even if the linguistic differences are pretty insanely huge. Like, I literally do not understand Danish, but I can read it perfectly fine. So when we got independence, it's a bit more complicated than that, but simplifying it for the sake of Twitch chat. When we got independence, people were like, okay, now we're independent, so we should have our own written language. So some people just said, let's Norwegify the Danish language, or the Danish written system, so that it makes sense in Norway, because they're so similar already that why bother making a new one? But someone said, no, let's make a new one. And base our language on, you know, the way people actually speak. And I agree with that. It makes sense that you should base the written language should be based on the way you speak. But the cunt who came up with the idea of basing the written language on the spoken language, he said he was going to base it on, you know, the dialects of all of Norway, but instead he just based them on the dialects of the western part of the country. So basically, he made a written version of the dialects of the western part of the country and a bit of the stuff in the capital. And he called that nynorsk, which just translates to New Norwegian. And he said, oh yeah, because basically he argued that the western dialects were the most pure. But as a guy who lives in the middle of Norway, I obviously think that's bullshit. Like, what the fuck? These dialects are no more pure than my dialect. Fuck you! And, like, the Norwegified version of Danish written language is way closer to the way I speak than the written form of the dialect in the western part of the country. And as a result, no one could really agree on anything, and so they just made both of the versions official. And so the result is that to this day, in the western part of the country, they write and speak in their own dialect. But in everywhere else, we just speak in the, you know, the standardized version of Norwegian. Like 90% of the country writes in the version called bokmål. But because of this cunt, what was he called? He had like insane, I don't know, the whole, it's fucking stupid. So like, just because some cunt believed that the dialect of Western Norway was purer than everyone else, we're now forced to quote-unquote learn their dialect as a written language, which is fucking bullshit. Like, God, I fucking barely passed high school because of that crap, and the fact that I had to learn German for some dumbass arbitrary reason. Who got him on the nynorsk? Yeah. You know, I can't help myself. Nynorsk is something to make the life of Norwegians everywhere more complicated. Yeah. Complicated and sad. What a fucking joke it is. Learning German, that... Yeah, like... But, but the thing is, they say, like, we have to quote-unquote learn German and nynorsk, but we don't. Like, I can't speak German. I can't write nynorsk. Like, I spoke it, or I wrote it enough and spoke it enough in high school to pass, but, like... But I don't actually speak German or nynorsk, so I basically just wasted a bunch of hours and got a bunch of horrible grades that I had to compensate by, like, wasting my russetid. And yeah, you might notice that just triggered a nerve. So let's actually play the game. It's getting late, so I need to focus. As a northerner in Norway, I feel the same way, great. Yeah, good on you, Poblox. Where are you from, by the way? Unless you're not comfortable saying that. I have relatives from... I had relatives, they're all dead now, but basically when the Soviets invaded Finnmark, or, you know, quote-unquote liberated Finnmark, the Germans burnt the whole place down, and so part of the refugee people who went down to the south, well, the middle of Norway, eventually they would mix with some boys from the south, and that would make me, so. Tromsø? Oh man, what a lovely land. I've thought of, well, I haven't thought about moving there. It's not like moving there is realistic, but I think if someone forced me, like at the point of a gun, to move to another city in Norway, Tromsø would be pretty high on that list. I love the idea of like living so far north that you don't have to deal with trees. You can just see the open landscape of beautiful northern... Oh, man. So nice.